So the Pop-Tarts movie guy is worried for his edgy humor?
So great to be here at the White House Correspondents Dinner. You know, they say the media is supposed to be a voice for the voiceless. And by the voiceless, I mean RFK Jr. What?
Gleep, it's not going well. Beam him up.
No! I will die on this hill. This guy sucks.
Extract him.
Oh, this is your king?
Extract
you. You!
Gleep, fire up the hook beam.
Spornak, don't give me the hook beam. I'm just getting started.
Hooking up.
Spornak, you can't yank me out before the after party. I was going to see who spiked the punch bowl at Punch Bowl News' soiree.
Did you actually see Jake Sherman?
I guess I'll continue in the safe space of our ship orbiting the planet. So the media elite can't jump on me.
They just don't understand you.
All right. Well, I guess we can start with the Biden scandal that came out of this.
Oh, cool. Yeah. This is good segue.
Here's the President of the United States, the man with the nuclear codes at his fingertips, grappling with a bowl of lettuce.
What?
He can barely feed himself.
In Joe's defense, it doesn't look like a particularly good salad. I don't see any dressing there.
Sometimes that arugula's real thin.
Yeah, it looks very wilted.
He said he would walk and chew gum at the same time. No mention of salad.
Watch. This man has a nuclear code. Look.
He's eating!
That's the president.
What am I missing?
With this buildup, I was expecting a leaf to fall.
Here comes the airplane and landed.
Yeah.
He did the choo-choo, here comes the lettuce, and he ate it.
He doesn't even eat the bread. He just sets it aside. What an insult to our grain farmers.
The man who's going to push back on Russia, China, are you kidding me?
I want a president who's never eaten a salad in his life.
If anything, this just means he won't be like rushing to hit the nuclear codes.
There's some time for dissent. There's some time for some balsamic glaze.
In between where he hits each number on the keypad.
By the way, comparing this to Trump, who needs 2 hands to drink from a water bottle.
Yeah, look at all those glasses Joe has. He is not afraid of drinking water.
Trump did 2 hands, 1 glass. Joe does 2 glasses, 1 hand. Hey, I got a question for you, Eric Bolling. How often do you think of the Romaine Empire? You!
Romaine
Dude!
Potential Trump running mate Kristi Noem is defending her decision to kill her 14-month-old puppy. Noem shot it execution style in a gravel pit. This is according to her book.
Who was her editor who allowed this to be put in the
totally.
book? What was cut? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Noem writes that her wire-haired pointer, Cricket, had an aggressive personality.
She said the same thing about Corey Lewandowski.
Oh!
Anytime I can remind people about the Corey Lewandowski thing, I will.
And was untrainable. I hated that dog, Noem writes.
The prose, the poetry, the emotion that she infused into every word.
Life on the farm is tough. Sometimes you got to put down an animal you have personal disdain for.
I don't ever like hitting anybody in the movement or on the team, but I got to bring it up quick.
I don't like breaking my streak of avoiding being an independent journalist performatively, but I just gotta do this.
Whenever an animal killer that I'm politically aligned with does something, I gotta
call it out.
You know, I just can't imagine that because there's a forever home for all animals. I don't know what happened.
Except for the elephants shot by Don Jr.
Different. Not Huckabee, or sorry, Romney. No, and Huckabee. Wait, how many of these are killing animals?
Maybe somebody slipped that in and she didn't see it. I don't know. But
a conspiracy is afoot.
Chewing on.
You might say it wasn't advisable. You might say there were better things she could have done. She could have given the dog up for adoption. She could have tried to train the dog. She could have...
Yeah, that would have been better.
A whole host of things she could have tried.
God.
But sometimes a bullet to the head is just lazier.
Animals don't have a rational soul. If you are needlessly inflicting pain and suffering on suffering to the degree that an animal can suffer.
Which, you know, science is out on that one.
As soon as a sperm meets an egg, it has a soul. However, animals...
Yeah. Fun Republican science logic.
Boy, it's tough to lose an animal, isn't it? You lost 3.
We lost 3. These horses were old. They were in their late 20s.
That's funny because that's how Republican men also view women. Real old, late 20s, just no use for them anymore.
Yeah.
So we have to put them in the ground.
That's Matt Gaetz's whole dating MO.
The same day she shot Cricket, she also shot her family's pet goat. She writes that the goat was nasty,
She's shooting everybody.
chased her kids, and smelled rancid.
Whose fault's that? Come on down to Kristi Noem's You Shoot Animal Farm. Got an old pet or one you're just angry with? Then drag it on down to our gravel pit /cursed hole.
This whole thing just shows that, like, not every idiot has to write a book.
This is her second book.
First of all, she's written now 2 memoirs. I mean, 2 books about herself in 2 years. That's a little strange right there.
Oh, man. Don't make us agree with Greg Kelly.
We have to put a starburst in the jar every time we agree with Greg Kelly.
She shoots a dog. Yes, her. It's crazy.
Okay, Greg, when you're right, you're right.
Who does this? And then who writes about it?
Dang it, I just made this point.
You know, when Mitt Romney, remember him? He put his dogs on the roof.
Dang, he's doing drive-bys of Rom. This is me. I'm literally Zotox ranting in Greg Kelly voice right now.
He put the dog in some box on the roof. Now, we don't have a picture, but we had a little fun on the computer, and I think it looks something like this. Yeah, there's Mitt Romney. So after that...
The graphics department at Greg Kelly Reports really...
They tried.
You can tell it really wasn't done by AI.
Yeah.
After this happens with Kristi Noem, damn. That's it. Then again, the country is pretty crazy these days, but no.
All you crazy watching me, I know I've done my part in stoking hatred.
Then again, our followers are in a cult, and no one seems to care that the leader of the Republican Party is on trial right now.
Anyway, here's another clip art image of an octopus in a taxi.
Okay, from a mistreated puppy to a man-sized baby crying about being mistreated.
So I'm going to go into this trial. I'm going to sit in a freezing cold ice box for 8 hours, 9 hours or so. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go into the icebox now.
Sounds like a David Blaine stunt.
It's court magic.
Can he escape this barricade cage?
And now I will sit in a very modern building for 8 hours with only 3 bathroom breaks.
My case and my lawyers are completely underwater.
Somebody just told me they'd never sat for such a long period of time in a courthouse before.
That somebody was me.
I was watching the news the other day and I saw this piece of shit on there ranting.
This guy next to him, this lawyer next to him. Don't blink.
Okay, so from the lowering of temperatures in courtrooms to the rising ones on college campuses.
Anti-Semitism, as I said, is a virus, and it will spread if it's not stamped out.
It's also like the woke mind virus. It's just, it's another one of those mind viruses.
Yeah. Every virus is real except for the real virus that killed 1 million people. That one's fake as shit.
There was a neo-Nazi march the other day in Charleston, just 3 days ago.
Yes, I'm aware. I was attending.
That was my friends, yeah.
The most acute physical threats continue to come from the far right. Why not extend this to make this a whole of anti-Semitism
He's concentrating.
investigation and thereby not be accused of making this partisan?
This is not partisan at all. We'll call this out anywhere that it occurs.
Except for within our party.
Except for those last 4 examples you cited.
But what's captured the nation's attention is what is happening on the university campuses.
Charleston's story wasn't sexy enough, so we ran with the campus's headline.
Listen, I'm an opportunist. I'm just trying to make the most out of this.
We start with destruction, violence, and hate on college campuses, police clashing with protesters.
Clashes is such a tell for like when the media doesn't want to say what's really happening.
Don't forget the vague hate.
And also they can create a veneer of chaos. You can do the deduction on your end to figure out who's doing the chaos. Surely it's these rowdy kids and their pesky dog too, who will be shot execution style by Kristi Noem.
Many of these protests started peacefully with legitimate questions about the war, but in many cases, they lost the plot.
A journalist just straight up editorializing. She's criticizing protesters because she doesn't agree with what they're protesting.
Or how they're protesting.
They're calling for a ceasefire. Well, there was a ceasefire on October 6th.
To use the October 6th, there was a ceasefire line, this is one of those phrases that has been repeated because it's catchy, and a journalist should not be repeating it. Saying there was a ceasefire on October 6th erases the human rights call for a ceasefire today.
Well, I know what you're all wondering. How's Charlie Kirk covering this?
I have impatience for American Jews that have put up with the anti-white sentiments, because guess what, American Jews?
Any white nationalist starting a sentence with, guess what, American Jews? Not go.
The great replacement theory has been replaced. We love you now.
We got a new one.
You're considered white in the eyes of the Marxists. What? White means you too. Welcome to the most hated class in America today.
You're still not allowed in our country clubs, but welcome.
And we've been warning against, hey, you know that there's like a lot of venom against white people? Too bad. Floydapalooza.
Did Kirk just drop Floydapalooza?
Yeah.
I go to Floydapalooza for the Maxine Waters set. I just feel like that's just like the unplugged tent, you know?
BLM, diversity is our strength. And now all of a sudden Jews are saying, This kind of feels like how we got to Auschwitz.
Diversity is our strength is really what brought us to Auschwitz.
Do they mean what brought Elon to Auschwitz on the tour to redeem himself for being anti-Semitic? Republicans' Auschwitz is having to go to Auschwitz.
So now Jews are experiencing the hate that we white people have been experiencing the last decade.
Actually, Jews just had Passover recently to remind them of the 10 years or so of hatred against white people.
That's so funny. Yeah. As it says in the Haggadah, we remember the way that white people have been treated since 2015. Rabbi Ezekiel says, being forced to flee Egypt, not unlike when Sarah Sanders was asked to leave a restaurant. I don't know if this Passover humor is going to land on the right or the left now. Like, that's how confusing this is. What do they want?
I keep thinking in my head that we all need a mom. I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. Yeah. But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
Hiya, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us keep this spaceship going. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or drop a comment. We read them all. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share bonus content that didn't make it on this episode. Okay, gotta go. Thank you. Bye.